Have you ever wondered what's it like to be an immigrant living in a foreign land, or a refugee fleeing from war, violence, or natural disaster? I know, for I am one. Being an immigrant and a refugee was not easy, but it has taught me many lessons. One is the importance of being in solidarity with the millions of people who are displaced all over the globe. Although my parents originally came from North Vietnam, and I was actually born and raised in the south of my homeland. After the fall of Saigon in 1975, my family and I immigrated to the United States of America as refugees, seeking religious freedom and other basic human rights that were no longer available under the communist political regime. My family certainly knows what it's like to be stripped of all fundamental human rights, especially the freedoms of expression and worship. To live under such oppressive conditions was not an option for committed Christians. The migrant and refugee crisis has erupted enormously and has become one of the major factors shaping the world today. Every day, millions of people are on the move. In the last several decades, the number of immigrants has increased exponentially. As of today, mid-2021, it is estimated that approximately 3.4% of the world's 7.6 billion people are displaced. That's 1 out of every 30 people on the planet now living away from his or her homeland. From another perspective, if migrants and refugees were gathered in one place, they would constitute the 5th largest nation on earth, surpassing 45 million more than the whole population of the country of Brazil. According to the International Organization of Migration, it is projected that by 2050, there would be as many as 405 million international migrants globally. Because of the growing inequalities of wealth caused by globalization, political and ethnic conflicts, environmental disasters, a virus pandemic like COVID-19, free trade, and viable means of transportation, more and more people are migrating than ever before, causing some to call our era the age of migration. Migration is by no means a new phenomenon. Since the dawn of human history, wave upon wave of people have been on the move for a variety of reasons, including trade, war, persecution, natural disasters, economic opportunities, asylum, and even adventure. Interestingly, the Bible contains many stories written by, for, and about strangers, migrants, and refugees. It begins with the first human parents banished from paradise and ends with the prophet John's exile on the island of Patmos. Encapsulated between these two bookends, namely Genesis and Revelation, are stories of God's people constantly moving about. Thus, we could correctly say that the Bible is essentially a tapestry woven together from the stories of one huge migrant family. Since these sacred texts are written by, for, and about migrants, it is worthwhile to examine some of its key figures and events in order to draw out appropriate responses to one of the most challenging phenomena of our time, migration. Crossing international borders, or even moving around within a country, is a major characteristic of our present age. No continent, region, or country is immune from this worldwide phenomenon. Recognizing the complexities and concerns of the plight of millions still in desperate circumstances, this series of recordings seeks to develop an appropriate response for each person and the worldwide community to this phenomenon. Since the Bible is the Word of God and the basis of our faith and practice, we will turn to the Christian scriptures to search for inspiration and guidance. The aim is to provide a biblical basis and a framework to address the issues of migration today. This series of talks address the phenomenon of global migration. Each talk tackles the complexities of the immigration debate and crisis today and offers a biblical reflection and a Christian Catholic response on behalf of immigrants and refugees. The topics are women and children, an alarming and rising trend of migration; human trafficking, a contemporary global pandemic; climate change, the threats of human dislocation; walls and borders, do good fences make good neighbors? Refugees and asylum seekers, a point of no return? Undocumented immigrants, the myths behind anti-immigrant sentiments. And finally, the Bible as a tapestry of one great migrant family.